Hello guys, I am Huda Khan with Karam. Today we will tell and show you the 50 best places and tourist attractions in London. If you are a new honorable one on our channel, please subscribe our channel, press the bell icon and notification all for this act of kindness. We will appreciate and say thank you. London landmarks are iconic for a reason. You've got your London Eye, your Hyde Park, your Big Ben, and even if you've lived here for years and have steadfastly been avoiding tourist traps, you really ought to check these places out at least once. Whether you're a day tripper or a local, marveling at the capital's museums, galleries, monuments and parks is a London rite of passage, and they're all really bloody great. But where to begin? We've pulled together a list of the best attractions in London for you to start ticking off your bucket list. And the best news? Loads of these must-see London attractions are free, and for those that aren't, you can book below. Number 1. The London Eye. Much like the Millennium Dome, or, as it's known to those who don't remember the 20th century, the O2 Arena. The London Eye was built to celebrate the year 2000. Since then, the Eye has been a resounding success and it's hard to picture London's skyline without it. It rarely ever comes to a stop, so you won't be standing on the ceremony when you get on. Before you know it, you're halfway into the sky and taking in sweeping vistas of the city. Number 2. The view from the Shard. The capital's tallest tower, having joined London's skyline in 2012. Measuring 310 meters, the Shard was built with everything in mind. Offices, homes, hotels, bars, restaurants and, of course, the alluring viewing platform. From the highest point, the public are allowed access, floor 6972. You get stunning 360-degree views of the city. There's a silent disco on selected Saturday nights and other events, such as gigs and gin tastings throughout the year. The floor-to-ceiling windows allow exceptional views out across the capital, especially on a clear day. Number 3. Madame Tussauds. In 1802, Marie Tussaud made her waxwork debut in the capital, 32 years after she founded the show in Paris. By 1884 she decided to lay down permanent roots in Marylebone and she's been there ever since. Well, her legacy at least. Visitors to Madame Tussauds today will find over 150 lifelike models including contemporary stars like Drake and Dua Lipa and historic icons like Einstein and Marilyn Monroe. Elsewhere, the king stands proudly on the royal balcony and stars like the Marvel cast have their own Hall of Heroes. Number 4. Shrek's Adventure. London. An interactive tour that starts with a breathtaking 4D ride through the sky before you crash land near a certain ogre's swamp and find yourself having to flee from the wicked Rumpelstiltskin. You'll encounter a few favorite characters while you take on different missions, such as liberating Pinocchio from the wheel of torture and cooking up some spells with the Muffin Man. Number 5. Up at the O2. Ever wondered what London looks like from 53 meters above North Greenwich? Find out with a ticket for Up at the O2, where you can choose from daytime, sunset and twilight climbs. The ultimate AAA pass gains you access to the roof, where you'll be able to see across the capital, spotting famous sights like the Olympic Park, Thames Barrier, the Shard and Canary Wharf. For an incredible 360-degree view, and that adorable climbing onesie. Number 6. ArcelorMittal Orbit. This network of curly-whirly red scaffolding lords it over the Queen Elizabeth Olympic Park from its position right alongside the Olympic Stadium. Designed by the artist Anish Kapoor and structural engineer Cecil Balmond, it stands 114.5 meters, 376 feet, tall, with lifts, and a 455-step staircase, up to 2 platforms from which you take in the interesting, if not entirely spectacular, view. There are also 2 of Kapoor's entertaining distorting mirrors inside and the options to abseil or slide down to the ground. The view and the slide. Hold on to your stomach and enjoy the speedy descent down the 12-loop corkscrew. Number 7. Westminster Abbey. Like the Pantheon crypt in Paris, where you can see the tombs and memorials of great figures from history, Westminster Abbey is a popular attraction to peruse the graves, tablets, busts and stone dedications. In fact, 17 monarchs are buried here, along with dukes, countesses and history's celebs. Think Darwin, Dickens and Hardy. Founded by Benedictine monks in 960 AD, There have also been 16 royal weddings here, and every single British coronation has taken place within the Abbey's walls since 1066. To see Gothic grandeur in all its splendor. Number 8. Buckingham Palace. A chance to see world-famous art, glimpse regal opulence and get inside HM's headquarters. Tourists and locals alike know the facade of Buckingham Palace, which stands at the end of the mall. But it was only in 1913 that this addition was made, by King George V and Queen Mary. Before that, in 1633, the palace wasn't even royal. It belonged to Lord Goring, who was forced to hand over ownership to the royal family, under King George III, due to a flaw in his contract. Poor chap. To snoop around the most famous royal residence in the world. Number 9. Hampton Court Palace. A resplendent palace with plush grounds on the edge of southwest London. From the Tudor indoor tennis court to the Royal Maze, from the King's private loo to the Magic Garden Adventure Playground, there's something here for all ages. History buffs and art enthusiasts should purchase a ticket for the palace and gardens. Those with little ones in tow will appreciate the Magic Garden and Maze ticket. Make sure you keep an eye on the site for their seasonal opening time. Number 10. The Houses of Parliament. The seat of British democracy. Take an audio tour through the House of Lords and House of Commons to bring the building to life. It takes around 90 minutes and features leading parliamentary figures such as Mr. Speaker and Black Rod. A dazzling combo of history, politics and architecture. Number 11. St. Paul's Cathedral. Iconic as St. Paul's may be, the cathedral as we know it today is in fact version 6, at least. Mark V was razed to the ground by the Great Fire of London in 1666. Mark III was also destroyed by fire, in 1087, and Mark IV fell to ruins under Henry VIII's leadership. Thankfully Sir Christopher Wren's design, which was completed in 1708, survived 12 monarchs and 2 world wars, notably the German Blitz of World War II. If you've paid for the main admission, you'll be treated to an introductory talk before being taken on a 90-minute tour. Number 12. Afternoon tea at the Ritz. An occasion to enjoy finely cut sandwiches, fresh cakes and the tinkling of shiny silver teapots in the golden white splendor of the Ritz Hotel's former ballroom. It's so popular that you can book sittings from 11:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. every day. Sure, it's not strictly the afternoon, but it's all accompanied by the delicate sounds of a pianist, harpist or string quartet. Number 13. Tower Bridge. There's more to this ornate Victorian bridge than something cool to look at. You can actually venture inside. Check out the engine rooms with their whirring wheels and pistons, then head up to the glass-floored viewing platform above the drawbridge, where you can delve into this magnificent structure's story. Number 14. Kensington Palace. Where William, Kate and the kids hang their hats. This tourist attraction has a chic style. It played host to the most fashionable salons in Georgian times, was home to Queen Victoria in her youth, then sassy Princess Margaret and then classy Princess Diana. Now the main palace is a pretty visitor magnet with tranquil gardens to wander. Number 15. Big Ben. Big Ben is the nickname of the Great Bell inside Westminster's iconic clock tower, but even locals think Big Ben when they see the Elizabeth Tower. You can't get inside for a tour due to maintenance work, but you're a minute away from the river, the Houses of Parliament and Westminster Abbey here, so it's an easy visit. Number 16. Wembley Stadium. The venue where England won the World Cup in 1966, and the Lionesses won the Euros in 2022. Wembley still has a magic about it, even when you don't have a ticket for a match or a rock concert. Take the tour and you'll get to walk down the Players' Tunnel and climb the 107 trophy winners' steps. Plus, with the use of 360-degree video, experience the electric atmosphere at some of the stadium's biggest events. Number 17. The National Gallery. A huge art museum right on Trafalgar Square that's free to enter. Perfect! Whether you've got 10 minutes in your lunch break to check out Van Gogh's Sunflowers or time to wander the entire collection of Western European paintings from the 13th to the 19th centuries. Check out the Friday Lates for after-hours access to exhibitions, creative workshops and life drawing sessions. Number 18. Churchill War Rooms. A secret, secure bunker, tucked behind Downing Street and Parliament Square, where Churchill and his cabinet could monitor how World War II was going. receive intelligence and give orders. It's the little details that give the biggest impression, from a daily updated weather notice board to the scratch marks on Churchill's chair, caused by his ring on a stressed day. Number 19. National Portrait Gallery. Just around the corner from the National Gallery, this is the home of a stunning collection of portraits, from paintings to photography, capturing the essence of notable royalty, celebrities and our enduring fascination with the human face. The permanent collection is free to visit, with ticketed special exhibitions. Number 20. Thames Rib Experience. A high-speed, rigid inflatable boat that will have you zooming up and down the river. If you want to ramp up the excitement on the Thames, the kind that would make 007 proud, hop aboard the Rib to travel at speeds of around 35 knots, roughly 40 miles per hour. Number 21. National Theatre. Only the greatest theatre in the world. Well, we would argue so, anyway. Take your pick of entertainment from the 3 theaters, and if you've got time to kill pre- or post-performance, take a seat at one of the various bars or restaurants. Number 22. Royal Albert Hall. Across the road from the ornate golden memorial statue of Prince Albert is another dedication. The construction of Royal Albert Hall was ordered by Queen Victoria and named after her late husband. Since its completion, the hall has hosted music and theatre and continues to do so to this day, most famously the proms. Number 23. Tower of London. One of the capital's best and most well-known historical attractions. The Tower of London offers wonderful architecture, gruesome stories, hands-on activities for younger visitors, costumed actors and guides, and worryingly confident ravens. Number 24. Royal Opera House. Covent Garden's Grand Old Opera House. You don't have to be super rich to get in on the action. There are reductions for students, senior citizens and those on credits, plus regular ticket offers for all. Alternatively, take a backstage tour, where you can sometimes spot the Royal Ballet practicing their moves. Number 25. Kew Gardens. Budding horticulturalists will have a field day here. There are over 300 acres to explore filled with indigenous flora and fauna, as well as exotic greenhouses and nature trails. There's also a treetop walkway and the Grade 1 listed Temperate House recently reopened after a 5-year refurb. It's the largest Victorian glasshouse in the world and quite a sight to behold. Number 26. Shakespeare's Globe. A painstakingly accurate recreation of the kind of theatre Shakespeare would have written all his plays for. If you've never been, book groundling tickets and stand in the open-air pit like you're at a rock festival. It makes Bard's poetry seem a lot less like homework and a lot more like first-rate drama. Number 27. Somerset House. An elegant 18th-century landmark and cultural hub on the north side of Waterloo Bridge that hosts several art exhibitions and events at a time. Incorporating the Courtauld Gallery and temporary exhibitions in the Embankment Galleries. Hell, even the courtyard, once an inland revenue car park, makes itself useful, with gigs, alfresco cinema and fountains in summer. Number 28. Tate Modern. A riverside icon dedicated to modern and contemporary art, based in what was the Bankside Power Station. You can discover works by the likes of Warhol, Dali and Hockney, as well as unusual, eye-grabbing installations, as part of its free-to-visit permanent collection. Number 29. Kew Palace. The favored residence of George III looks more like a massive, ornate biscuit tin than the glittering home of a royal. In the gardens, there is a wonderful little cottage built for Queen Charlotte that trumps any garden shed. You can only visit the palace via Kew Gardens. It's free with entry to Kew. Number 30. Cutty Sark. Experience life aboard the world's last surviving tea clipper in Greenwich. See the intricate craftsmanship used in its creation and find out how the crew lived. Thanks to a £1 million refurbishment after a fire in 2007, you can now walk underneath the hull. Number 31. HMS Belfast. A grey warship, with its guns tilted high, moored close to Tower Bridge. That's a museum nowadays. Open daily, with scenes set to show you what life was like on board a working World War II warship, HMS Belfast is a lively visitor space. You can scoot around the lower levels, exploring the engine room, the kitchens and the dentist's office, and the action stations up on deck. Number 32. London Transport Museum. A vast museum full of real relics of the bygone ages of London transport, where there's always a bus or a train to hop on. Find out why tube stations were used as wartime shelters, see decades of beautiful poster artwork and discover how the latest technology will run our services in the future. The LTM always hosts a fabulous Friday late themed around its newest exhibition. Number 33 London Zoo. The Regent's Park landmark has come a long way since the days when zoos were full of homesick wildlife. London Zoo does a lot of world-class animal welfare work, creating carefully designed settings in which beautiful creatures from gorillas to lizards, penguins to tigers now reside. There's a dedicated area for small kids and daily shows for nature fans of all ages. Number 34 Warner Brothers Studio Tour London, The Making of Harry Potter. The Warner Brothers Studio, a short trek north of London, where you can set foot inside the Great Hall, Forbidden Forest and Diagon Alley. See film sets, costumes, props and exhibits that take you behind the scenes of the Harry Potter films. Changing exhibitions are included in the ticket and you get the chance to discover the secrets of the movie's special effects. Number 35 Royal Observatory. For centuries, the location for the scientific study of the stars and of timekeeping, originally for the benefit of sea navigation. This is where you'll see the Greenwich Meridian line marked out, from which point the world's time zones are measured. You can also see the incredible instruments with which astronomers made discoveries about our universe, long before the digital age, or go stargazing at a planetarium show. Number 36 The South Bank. A buzzing open space and cultural nucleus of the capital, lined with some of the city's most exciting galleries, theaters and attractions. Start at the South Bank Centre, for free art and live shows, lunch at one of the many restaurants, watch the skateboarders. Number 37 Sea Life London Aquarium. The home of sea creatures from all over the world, from Pacific nurse sharks to Antarctic penguins, with a glimpse of what's swimming past you in the Thames, too. It can get busy, but go off-peak to get some one-on-one time with the crocs. Number 38 British Library. A working resource for printed and sound archives that's open to all. If you nip into the free entrance hall exhibitions you might get to see a scribbled page of Beatles songwriting or a Leonardo da Vinci notebook. There are some stunning illuminated scripts and landmark scientific items too, including very early photographs. Don't expect silence to be enforced when a Late at the Library event kicks off. Number 39 The London Dungeon. A tour of London's nastiest historical moments, with gory stories retold with humor, gooey props and gruesomely costumed actors. You can board a trader's boat to the Tower of London, dash through the streets of Whitechapel in pursuit of Jack the Ripper and glimpse Plague London. Gore seekers can ride a recreation of the Death Express, a line which carried the deceased to their final resting place in Surrey. Number 40 The British Museum. Since it opened in 1759, the first ever national museum for the public, the British Museum has been displaying global artifacts discovered by British explorers. Must-see gems include the Rosetta Stone and the Parthenon sculptures. The museum has more than 8 million objects in its collection, 50,000 of which are on display. That's a lot of bang for your buck, considering entrance to the main areas is free. Number 41 Hyde Park. A massive central London park that's easy to take for granted. Wander into Hyde Park's vast greenery and eventually, you get to the Serpentine Lake, where you can take a dip, go boating, board a solar-powered ferry, in summer, or eat pizza by the water. You can also take guided tours of the gardens and a secret pet cemetery. Visit the park's website to book the latter. Life's more fun if you stop for a stroll, a bike ride or a picnic. Number 42 Highgate Cemetery. A beautiful, crumbling North London cemetery full of overgrown paths that will lead you to several Grade II listed catacombs and a number of famous remains, including poet Christina Rossetti, architect Sir Lawrence Weaver and philosopher Karl Marx. On a sunny day, it even feels a little less morbid. Try to find Karl Marx's hidden-away grave. Number 43 Museum of London. A museum that traces the capital's history from its beginnings to the present day. You can even see part of the city's original Roman wall from its windows. Sense the drama of the Great Fire of London, walk through a Victorian shopping arcade, see the stunning London 2012 Olympic cauldron and get an eyeful of part of the Fatberg found lurking in a Whitechapel sewer. Number 44 V&A Museum. one of the greatest collections of decorative art, design, fashion and textiles in the world. The fashion galleries run from 18th-century court dress right up to contemporary chiffon numbers. The architecture gallery has videos, models, plans and descriptions of various styles. And the famous photography collection holds more than 500,000 images. Admission is free. Drool over amazing designs and gobble up cake in the sunny courtyard. Number 45 Natural History Museum. The magnificent South Kensington home of around 80 million plant, animal, fossil, rock and mineral specimens. This fascinating museum, which is also a world-class research institution, is full of natural wonders and admission is free. To marvel at a 25.2 meters long blue whale skeleton, a piece of Mars rock, Mary Anning's ichthyosaur fossil and lots more. Number 46 Science Museum. An incredible, free-to-enter, hands-on museum that features 7 floors of entertaining and educational exhibits, including the Apollo 10 command module, a virtual reality space descent experience and a 16th-century artificial arm. Number 47 Regent's Park. A verdant 410 acres of lush, open space, just a short stroll north of Oxford Circus. Featuring a pretty rose garden, the elegant open-air theatre, open throughout the summer, check the website for exact dates, and tree-lined avenues for jogging. It's a slice of horticultural heaven and a much-needed respite from the rest of the whirring city. Number 48 St. James's Park. London's oldest royal park and, essentially, Buckingham Palace's front garden. St. James's Park runs alongside the mall and offers a handy escape from the traffic noise of Trafalgar Square. The 2 islands in its lake are home to wildlife and there's the Princess Diana Memorial Walk to follow if you fancy some gentle exercise. Number 49 Trafalgar Square. When it comes to London's top attractions, Trafalgar Square can't be overlooked. Bring your selfie stick because posing for pics is a must. Get the lions and fountains in shot, no paddling in the fountains, please. And check out the latest modern art installation adorning the 4th plinth, as London's red buses circle on the busy roads around you. Number 50 Queen Elizabeth Olympic Park. The green space around the Olympic Stadium that's now open to the public. You don't need to be a sports fan to enjoy the Olympic Park. If you fancy a break from the Westfield shopping center crowds, you can wander around the waterways and immaculate parklands or take a dip at the Zaha Hadid-designed aquatics center, and be sure to give the Velo Park a spin. If you like our hard work, please give us a big thumbs up.